Alright, so yesterday we had a session with my friend. Went to a KAP session. It was his 4th session. Now, I want you to go through the progression of his sessions. So his first session was not a lot of happening. He was just lying there. He was aware, he had a lot of expectations. He was aware that people were shouting, screaming, that people were having all kinds of things, and he wanted to have that experience, but he didn't. He mostly laid still, moved a bit, but he always thought like, I feel like doing this, so I'm gonna do this. I feel like making a sound, so I'm gonna make a sound, right? Second time, he had a lot of it. He had an idea of what it was gonna be like. So he came, and not a lot of different happened. It was just the same. The third time that he came, his session was full of like different experiences. His session was full of movement, full of sound. Whenever a facilitator touched him, he would make a lot of sound. He would say things that he usually wouldn't say. He would scream. He would make growling noises. He would feel really energetically stimulated. And throughout the sessions in his own life, he noticed his bullshit meter was dropping, was like really on point, because all of a sudden, whatever he felt like he needed to say in a certain situation, whereas before he would hold it in, he now just expressed it. He said, this is what I feel, this is what I want, this is what is true for me. And he embraced his truth. He also felt like one of the other things that changed with him was that before he would, whenever there was a situation which was uncomfortable for him, he would feel a sort of fear to go into that comfortable situation. But now he just felt like, I'm just gonna go through it. Just gonna go through it. It's like, because of the energy, the rising of frequency, he has like this courage, this energy, like, I can do this. I can just go through it. And he did. And afterwards, looking back at the experiences, he was like, whoa, I usually never did this, but now I do. Now, yesterday was his 4th session. And mind you, only his 3rd session, he had like real like experiences, like a facilitator touched his belly and he screamed. He felt the energy streaming through her hand. He felt stimulated. But this time, she asked him to do a demo, and he just lay down, and she went to his body. She did some energy work on him. Nothing happened. He just lay there. So she went away to do a demo with another person. And while he was laying there, all of a sudden, his chest started to rise. His feet, they started to stamp on the ground very energetically, very rhythmically, very intensely. Bum, 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 bum. I started to see his hands shake, his body move. And that's where I realized his energy is active. He's activated energetically. And I see it now, how he is. He is so much more himself. He expresses his thoughts more. He expresses his voice more. He's more courageous to be himself, to share his thoughts, to share his mind, to share his emotions, even if it's uncomfortable. Whereas before he would avoid the uncomfortability. And he's much more present. I told him this, like, because he asked me, well, what difference do you notice? And I looked at him and I told him all this. He said, you know, all those things that you talk about, they were always there. But I only dared to be this vulnerable or this truthful or this raw whenever I was by myself. But now I feel like I can really like just be myself in front of people. Like, it doesn't matter. And I told him, you know, like, to make the sounds that you made, to have like that freedom in your body. It took me like 10 or 15 sessions to reach that, because I was too self-conscious. In his session yesterday, he had moments where he literally, like, he hit a point of anger, and he was expressing his anger in a room of people where most were women. He was growling, like making a lot of growling sounds, expressing anger. He was moving a lot. He was so active. He was so free. And I was like, wow, look at him. He's really like blossoming, almost like uncovering his depth, diving into himself, coming into alignment, and allowing life to be expressed in all its forms, through his body, through his mind, through his emotions. It was so inspiring to see. Afterwards, when I asked him about his session, he told me the only thing that's bothering him, it's like in some of the KAP sessions, your body may give you an impulse to make a certain yoga pose, right? And usually, even if you're not very much into yoga, because the impulse is so, let's say, unconscious, and it's so geometrically perfect, if you just allow the impulse, your body will fix itself in a position where it's almost effortlessly, even if you're not used to it, it's gonna effortlessly happen. But with him, because he's a bit overweight, he followed that impulse, but he felt the boundary of his body, pulling him back. Like, he did not have that flexibility yet. So now he has like a motivation to do yoga, to lose weight. He's really motivated now. Like, he struggled with this for years, and now all of a sudden he wants to do it. I think that's really inspiring. And yeah, I'm really curious where his journey will unfold him.